Guys, hello family. This is Kimberly Purpose and welcome to my channel. I know it's been a while. I have not been here on my channel. I've been working a lot and as a therapist. So this job has been really pulling me everywhere. So now I want to get back to you guys and come back to my purpose and what I need to be doing because I enjoy doing my weekly videos and I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. But I'm here. But I wanted to do a video about the California Indians, Queen California in particular. I got this idea from another fellow YouTuber, and we'll go over here. Curio, I think it's Curio Mio. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. I hope I am, but this is his channel. He was talking about, no, I love his channel. He talks about a lot of important indigenous history that we should be hearing about as American Aboriginals. And I love what he was saying in his videos. And he talked about California, Queen California in one of his series. He did a full series talking about it. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around trying to get back to where I was. Let's see here. Oops. Let's see, where was I? But anyway, I'm getting back over here. These are some of the pictures right here of the California, Queen California right here. And I was just pulling up some pictures. I just was curious to see, Google searching to see if they had any pictures, if there's any really representation of this queen. And I found a few things. It wasn't a lot, and it's not well known in history a lot. You don't hear too many people, especially in the classroom, American classroom. Here in the United States, you're definitely not going to hear about this queen. But I was fascinated about her. I heard about her from all over the internet, and especially from Curio channel. He really did a beautiful research on this particular queen. I want to get back over here to this article, and this article goes into detail. I'm gonna put a link to it. It comes from Euromed. This is one of my favorite sources to go to. Places to go to get just some information, background information about our history. And so the name of this article is called "The History of Queen Califia, Queen Cali and the California Blacks." And we don't hear this story at all hardly. And she is the real, American Black Amazonian. She's the real, I say, Wonder Woman. And it's not portrayed properly in the media, especially in the movies. They always show a Caucasian, a gray, representing the indigenous people here. But Queen Callie was actually copper colored. She was one of us. And this is oftentimes overlooked in history, and it's very important that we highlight it as much as possible, especially in social media, and share this story because our future generation needs to know this, and it's something that is oftentimes overlooked. I love this artwork right here, and it's on the walls. It's right before our very eyes. It's right here in the Americas. We always looking elsewhere to find out the true meaning of who we are, our ancestors, and we're always looking in Africa, all over the place, but it's right here home in the United States and right before our eyes, and we're not even looking. And these are things we can find. I'm here in Georgia. I went to the mounds. I Etowah Mounds, and only about an hour away in Macon, and near Macon, and more artifacts showing people, us as being indigenous, but of course it's been brainwashed and changed to change the narrative to fit what Caucasians want. But it's time for us to change the narrative, and we can read and write now, so we can write down our own narrative and change history. Not even change it, write the truth as to what it really is. It says here, um, ancient American empire, queen of diamonds and golds, California, Cali, and the California blacks. Here it is, Califia, right here, and it says Queen Califia cave art. Isn't this neat? This is so neat. And this is right here, probably in California, and we just right under our noses. And you can see the skin tones beautiful. And it says, whoever controls the images control your self-esteem, self-respect, and self-development. Whoever controls your history controls your vision. Dr. Leonard Jeffries. And that is so true. And right now, the Caucasians control the narrative and have control of the pen, the grades. But that is going to change because we need to put the narrative, like I was just saying before, back to facts and truth, as opposed to um, putting fiction and stories in place to justify racism and great supremacy. It says in the continental United States of America, there were Africans who came before slavery. Yes, we were already here. The indigenous people were already here. And it says before Columbus and thousands of years before Jesus Christ. In many cases, these blacks and other indigenous nations established thriving civilizations in ancient America. Queen California blacks were in such ancient nations. See, there was a nation here. And like I said, imagine these stories coming out for our young people to read and learn while growing up. It'll build self-esteem and self-worth. I think that's a lot of the problems we have today, is that our young folks don't realize that we do have history like this, and rich history actually here in the Americas, and that we weren't just slaves like they always want to portray us to be, and that we were actually leaders and had nations, and that we built civilizations here, and that we actually done something. And imagine if we knew all of this. Our young people would be more inspired. I think people, all of us would be more inspired to do something to make a better change, because it's embedded in us, and it's part of our genetics to want to bring about change, to make a difference, and to empower ourselves to make a difference. But he says here, the civilizations with abundance of natural resources, golds, diamonds, vast quantity of precious stones and metals, with territory spanning thousands and thousands of miles throughout California, from the coast of San Francisco to Baja, Mexico, as far as Colorado, Utah, and the Pacific Ocean. Islands, nations, including Hawaii and Australia, places that most of the original inhabitants were Aboriginal, black, and brown people of color. And I hate using black because I think people go overboard with the term black, and we are all a different hue of brown, the color of the earth, ranging from light to dark. That's a more accurate tone, and I think black has been used as a way to bring negativity, or to speak negativity into the universe in a negative way, in order to justify the disparities that we see here today in society. But because I told you, I think words are very powerful, and I think you say you're teaching kids spelling. Spelling means spell binding, and when you learn these words, the Europeans, the Caucasians, the paganistic culture and the religion, it's like everything is used to bring that negative energy into the universe to um, lock you into the system, pretty much. But let's continue. It says here Queen Califia was a powerful general queen, a strategic opponent who commanded and maintained a fleet of ships while ushering a time of peace in all surrounding lands. Wow. I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm just going to highlight certain parts of it and we'll scroll down. But it says here, so loved, respected, and powerful was the queen that she projected emperor well over the seas of the Mediterranean, master communications of commerce, trading golds, tips, spears, gold, diamonds, precious stones, birds, food, plants, rare birds, and animals, as well as maintaining cultural trading contacts with Africa, Australia, and the Pacific Islands. Wow. See? This great lady ruler successfully defeated her empire during wars in the Mediterranean Sea and Anatolia, as well as against the Byzantine Empire in the southern Europe. It says Queen Califia and the mighty empire of California blacks, a people with civilizations and a history that was been lost to time and space through a deliberate, destructive conspiracy of lies, secrets, and deaths of perpetrated by evil invaders of the ancient America. Wow. See, this article goes into some of the details, which I think is fascinating. And we're going to stroll down and skip through. It says here they say they came before Columbus is an understatement. Exactly. When they came over here, there was civilization, cities, towns, villages. You name it, they have farms. And people don't realize that it was already a culture here, a civilization here. People were here. And this is all the time overlooked. They want to make it look like that this continent was desolate, but it wasn't. It was people already here. It was already civilized, and everything was already set up here. It's just they wanted to come over here and take over. And let's stroll down. And then they went on down and said the ancient civilization occupied California in the distant past include members of the Black Mojave and Wichita mound builders, as well as the following: the ancient indigenous Black nations of America, California Black Olmecs, the Wichita mound builders, Louisiana Midwest, the Yamasee Southeast, the Iroquois, Cherokee, Blackfoot, Pequot, the Mohegans, Connecticut, and the Daronite, Panama. Wow. See? And just giving you some examples of the tribes. There were thousands. I'm pretty sure it was so many of them spread throughout the Americas that we still don't know about because so much of the history been erased. But, and some stuff is still there right before our eyes because, cities and towns still have a lot of the indigenous names and stuff. I see that here in Americas, here in Atlanta. There are some cities that are still named after the Indians. You see it in Alabama, such as Tuskegee. That is an example of an Indian name. They got Cherokee County here in the United States. No, not here in Atlanta as well. So it's like there are remnants of history still scattered throughout the Americas that we don't realize that are still here. It's right before our eyes. We just have to go and look at it and dig, and it's right there. That's why I get so excited about it. We think it's all has been gone, but not all is gone. A lot of it's there. It's just that they shift your focus on another continent and away from your homeland. You don't realize that, hey, there's a lot of stuff here. And see, now we're waking up. We're starting to see, hey, we were already over here. We are the Paleo Indians that they speak of, and they are so secretive about in these history books. And that's the secret. But anyway, we stroll down here. I'm going to put a link, like I said, down here because this is a lengthy article, but it goes over so much, all the things that the California Blacks done here, and this talks about some of the spiritual beliefs and worships right here in this paragraph. I'm going to scroll down. Y'all can learn and read that part if y'all want to. And this talks about the empire and, how it was ran as a matriarch. People don't realize the power of the matriarch here in the United States. See, in America. See, when the Caucasians came over, everything was, matriarch, and there was a value to women and everything. But when Europeans, the Caucasians, took over, they were patriarch, and everything's focused on the males, and so that's when everything got flipped upside down, and the women have been continued to be devalued. Because of what the Caucasians' beliefs and mindsets is, because they devalue their women and they think everybody else should devalue their women as well. But in the past, in the ancient past, the matriarch, the female, was valued, seen as valued, and also led as well. And this is oftentimes not seen that way. And Queen California is indicative of this, of this matriarchal society that was once held here in the Americas. But I love this picture right here. Oh my gosh. See, you see the afro, you see the dark skin, see right here? And these are Aboriginals, and these are here in the United States. Okay, you guys? This is not in another country. This is not in Africa. This is not in Australia, because that's another people say, oh, we're not Australians. Here it is. It's right here before our very eyes, right here. And these were found down in caves now. Caves. I might have to go over to California and try to see if I can go see these, because I'm just like, wow. These are right here. Look at that. Ancient America sacrifice cave art, yellow diamond harvest. See? And you see it? Is it indigenous people with the afros? Okay, they don't see long stringy hair. You don't see straight hair. Like they always try to portray with pale skin. You see curlies. You see this afro right here. Curls. Caucasians, grays don't have curls. Mongoloids don't have curls like this, okay? So it's not them. This is not them. Okay, this is us. And we need to accept that and stop, and a lot of times, everybody needs to just accept what we're here. Okay? All right? Not all people who are melanated are only from Africa. We were all over. And history needs to be stated as such, the facts. You can't deny artifacts and truth, And look at this. This is just so beautiful, you all. Look at this. This beautiful cave art. And look at the skin. Once again, look at this. This is that reddish brown skin that we have. Okay? And I don't think people realize, our skin tone is totally, it's different. We have that reddish undertone that they always talk about, the red man, the reddish undertone. And some of us even might have a little slight yellow undertone to our skin as well. See, right there. Look at it. The copper. That's the color copper. And so I love this. I want to zoom in. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Let me see if I can get this a little bit closer. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that neat? See, like they're doing some sort of festival or harvest or hunting. You see the animals right here. Looks like some sort of deer. And you see the sun. You know, they always celebrate the sun. A lot of the ancient people of the past did a lot of worshiping of the sun because, you know, it affects the food source, I believe, and how you're able to get hunt and also gather food, you know, for those who formed, you know. But this is so neat. And oh, I want to show you guys this as well. I don't know if y'all see this, but you see people right here. It's more indigenous people right here off the side. I'm not sure what they're doing, is dancing or like they're on all fours, picking something or harvesting, something. Then like they're dancing in the middle. It's just, I love this artwork. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh. See, why don't they have this in history books? Okay. Okay, that's my question. Why isn't this in history books? Okay. Now, this is what our kids need to be learning in the classroom instead of colonization. Colonization is not all of history, okay? It's just a fragment, okay? How about what happened prior to colonization? See, this is what they don't want us to see, that we were, that we have a history, that we're actually indigenous people here. Anyway, let me see if I can move this thing down. And see, this still, like I said right here, it says the remarkable cultural, highly spiritual, religious civilization thrived for thousands of years and is duly noted in several recent discoveries, including ancient caves, dating back to thousands of years. See, over 100,000 cave and rock art pictures, symbols, and ancient artifacts can be found in Crystal Lake, California. So this is in Crystal Lake. Like I said, this is right before our very eyes. We need to be going out there. Okay, this is what we should be studying and researching right here and looking at these cave arts. Okay, and we should be having our own anthropologists, Aboriginal anthropologists going out there studying this. Historians, I consider myself a researcher. Human behavior, psychology. So this is what we need to be looking at. I think this is so neat. Oh my gosh. Okay. And this is right before our very eyes. We up here looking at your wells and stuff with here. And it's sad. And our ancestors are right here. And it says here that states and Army base thousands of discovered caves and rocks found in 2014 in the highlands of Mexico. And it says the photos recently discovered caves art shows things for sure. They're not a hunter-gatherer tribe. See, they saying they're not hunter-gatherers, okay? And no, they're not hunter-gatherers, okay? But a complex, highly advanced thriving civilization prospered way before the arrival of Europeans, Indians, or Clovis people, okay? So if the Europeans, this tells you right here, if the Europeans weren't here, okay, with your grades, the Indians were not here, nor were the Clovis people, Who are these people? Who are these civilizations? The only other group is the Aboriginals, okay? Which is us, okay? When they call them the blacks, the indigenous Aboriginals, okay? But anyway, let's trail down. And then they talk about the high-tech house CG experiment. What is this? Oh my gosh. It says through our high-tech in-house CG experiment conducted recently by Cave Art on ancient caves, we're able to back engineer of ancient art. We discovered truly amazing CG graphics arts used thousands of years ago. Some appear to be created using computer-generated technology in 21st. Animation reveals intriguing, very surprising, unique first-hand glimpse of life in ancient America. Yeah, and it talks about all the stuff that the artwork shows. It shows the arts, the pictures, the warships, the sacred ancient Egyptian symbols. See, that shows that there is a connection between these groups, between ancient Egypt and here in the Americas, because they explain the pyramids and why we see them throughout the Americas like they do. And it says here, including the cross, the snakes, the gods, marriage ceremonies, underwater fishing, cave diving, scuba diving, see, with swimmers as well, and electric guns, gold mining, other high tech capabilities. So this was an advanced civilization that is oftentimes overlooked and discredited. So if we imagine if our people did these things in the past, imagine what we can do right now. And I think digging and learning more about our history and our culture will bring us more enlightenment and tapping into our ancient past and learning the knowledge of the ancients. And I think that's what we need to tap more into the ancient. What did the ancients do? What did our ancestors do? And learn more about these people. That's what we need to do. I think at first we were lost because we didn't have nothing. Everything has been erased, or we were not allowed in the past to learn who we really are and understand and have this knowledge passed down to us, rightfully so. But now that we are having access to some of this knowledge, we need to research and read and relearn again, pretty much relearn all of this. Learning more about Queen California and learning about all these people, so like, all these things that these wonderful people have done. And then as it goes down here and says that the Black Mound Builders of Wichita Mara nations as independent civilization, also descendants of Olmec, successfully lived among the cousins of the California blacks in peace, while engaging in boat building, seafaring, trade, and commerce for thousands of years. These people got in contact with each other. They shared, they worked together, and they worked as a collective, which I think is so fascinating. And that's something that we all need to go back to. And I like the fact that we're trying to learn more about our history as Americans and also connecting also with our cousins in Africa, our brothers and sisters in Africa, and also the Australians in Australia. People, just connecting as a brotherhood and sisterhood, as a melanated race. We can learn from each other. And I think it's great that we're being a little bit more open now than in the past. Of course, they want to set us apart, but you know, we all been hit hard with this racist system, and it's something that needs to be done away with. And one way is to know who we are as people and understand and have control of our own history and our culture and our own destiny. But it says here, descendants of Ham. It goes on to say that I guess we're descendants of Ham. And I guess they go on and explain all of this. It's very lengthy, like I say, guys. I'm not going to read all of this. I might do a part two, who knows, and go back to it later and we could go over this. And here's some more pictures. And I think this is the Olmec Cave Art King of California Blacks. Oh my gosh, this is the king. Oh wow, the Olmec King. See? See how dark his skin is? Wow. Yeah, wow. And then they show more artwork. I'm just fascinated with the artwork. It's just so beautiful. I always saw the Aboriginals of Australia. Oops. I don't know what happened, you guys. Let me see if I can reload it. Here we go. Sorry about that. That was a glitch. But we're back up again. But I just think that is so neat. And then showing the Omax. I'm gonna probably do a part two to this video because it's sort of long. And I'll probably do a part 2 to this video. And but I want to skip over and show you another, like I said, I showed you the pictures. This website I found this amazing website about what they're trying to do with the seals of the historic artifact of Queen California. This is what they have now, which is totally inaccurate right here. It's a young lady that is really pushing this in California, but I'll probably go into more details of this video on another video because I could tell I'm getting long-winded. And I can go on and on and on. But this is going to just be part 1 to this video series that I'm doing on the California Indians in Queen, California. But I just wanted to show you the inaccurate version. This was changed in 1849. See, like I said, a lot of the artwork, we got to remember, were changed. They just conquered the United States during the late 1700s and early 1800s. A lot of parts of the United States. Because there was wars. There was a lot of Indian wars, and our people fought hard to try to keep our lands. And so people don't realize that they've been fighting wars for hundreds of years, and they didn't, the Greys didn't just get this land overnight. They fought, but it was a big battle, battles upon battles. Because I did a video, y'all might want to check it out. I did about a year or two ago about the Indian Wars, and it is so many wars. People don't realize there was a lot of wars. It wasn't just like one or two here and there. It was a bunch of them. And they constantly fought trying to get these people, foreigners, off our land, who pretty much tearing down trees, putting all these buildings, polluting the ocean. They destroyed their land, so they're coming over here and doing the same thing to the beautiful lands here. And and I think it's time for us to wake up, because we and smell the coffee and realize what's going on. But these seals are inaccurate. This is what King and Queen California looked like, Califia. This is what she actually looked like. But they put a Eureka version, European Caucasoid version of it, a gray, which is inaccurate because they were not over here. Okay, they just got over here. They didn't even know it about into the 1500s, when Christopher Columbus came. But prior to that, they weren't here. They didn't build anything because they just came over here later, way later. And so this is an inaccurate depiction of history. This is what we're talking about, the gray washing. California was an indigenous Aboriginal, She was an Aboriginal Indian. And she looked more like this, dark skin. And instead they had this gray representing this false narrative of who the real indigenous people are. It may be from the Caucasus, from Europe, over that way. That might be accurate, but not over here. But and so they petitioning to have this change, and I agree it does need to be changed. It's not an accurate depiction of history, and a lot of things need to be changed in order to bring truth and also an identity to us as a people, and I think it's very unfortunate. But this is the young lady right here. But I'm gonna probably do another video going into detail about her in the next one. But yeah. But tell me what you guys think about the history of the California Indians. What do you think about Queen California? What do you think about the brainwashing of the history? If you have any more information, I would greatly appreciate it. What do you think about the cave art that all the rich histories that's here that we're overlooking? I'd like to hear what you think. But let me close this out. But yeah. And I'm back, you guys. And so please leave your comments below. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, love and peace, family. Bye bye.